What's going on, guys? Jay Curtis Strickland here, and you are now watching Tea and Fuckery. Before we get started, if you could do me a little favor, click on that subscribe button, click on the little bell for notifications, like this video, comment on this video, and share this video. Today in the house, we have a very special guest. He is a guitar player. He's honestly one of the best guitar players I've ever seen in my entire life, and he has played with the likes of Prodigy, Janus Stark, English Dogs. I hear now he's collaborating with. There he is, right there. I hear now he's collaborating with Steve Hewitt of Placebo. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Gizz Butt. How are you, brother?
Right, very good.
What's going on with you, man? I hear you doing the reunion, and then what else you got in the works?
A new album.
New
So
album.
we've just, new Janus Stark album. I mean, the first thing that's going to happen is I'm going to be going on tour with Steve Hewitt. So that's an acoustic gig.
Okay.
So that's something new for me. And so I've had to go through the whole thing of trying to, uh, you know, find a good acoustic that I would kind of like, that I feel confident with playing, and then trying to get some good sounds out of it. Now, I don't want to just get an acoustic and put a microphone in front of it. I want to put it through some effects and make it sound thicker. So yeah, I've been learning how to do that, and so we're going to be taking that out on the road next week. That'll be like 3 weeks through the
Nice.
UK. Yeah, it's
Okay.
good to be on the road again.
Yeah, how long's it been since you were last out? Probably pre-COVID, right?
Yeah, I mean, Jane and Stark have kept the gigs going, but it's sporadic.
Yeah.
Because we had a tour and then the whole tour was cancelled, like everyone else's. We're not the only case. Everyone else, it happened to everyone. In fact, that was the one thing about COVID. It was the big leveler. There was actually for a few days, everyone was equal. It's like we're all in this shit. Absolutely everyone, which was actually quite a good moment.
Did you venture down to the city whenever any of the stuff, like whenever it first hit?
No, but I mean, it was enough going in my own city. That was enough. I mean, it was deserted.
Yeah.
It was. But I still went out. I didn't. I mean, I do some teaching, in schools and things like that. So we get like a little kind of school teacher pass,
Oh, nice.
which over here kind of counted as being a key worker pass. So you could actually wear that and still go about your day. And if you got stopped by the police, they'd be cool with it.
Nice. Yeah, I mean that was really the surreal thing for me being in LA, just like being in a highly populated city and then there's like nobody and it's kind of just surreal and bizarre, and I was like we're probably not going to see this ever again in our lifetime.
Yeah, I mean, we received a letter from our prime minister telling us that it was serious and this is definitely happening. Um, so I imagine in years to come, we'll pull that letter out and haul it around the Antiques Roadshow. Yeah, I've still got mine. It's in perfect condition. What's it worth?
Yeah, that's the stuff that's going on right now is just completely crazy. Like, what are you making of even just the whole situation, like the world in general? I kind of like to talk to everybody and just see like, how do you make sense of all the craziness in the world? What do
I
you
just
do to
don't
kind of get
think.
away from it?
I think people need to just turn to music a lot more. I mean, I think that music has the power to get people to just kind of pull away from all the battles that they want to jump onto. Um, yeah, I mean, choose your battles. Do you want to get into every single one that comes along? Crikey, you're going to need a lot of energy. So, I mean, it's like music has that ability to make you one sit with another person and you and them feel great for a period of time, or a group of people, and in whatever way you do it. But music could do with having a bit more importance, really, like it did. I think that that's been robbed from us to some extent. Music is appearing to be lesser important than what it used to be, and I think that's one of the reasons why people are a little bit sadder, moodier, more aggressive, and a bit more boring than what they used to be. Because we are our generation now, and we may be, I don't know, could be the last of our kind. Hopefully not. But I do feel sorry for my son. I feel sorry for his generation because music isn't as important to them, and I think that that robs people of many things. Like one of them, the ability to just to bring love into your life, to just to stop hating other people, to just kind of have a moment of like you can just be inside this thing, the music, and be happy inside that. Whether you're playing it with another person, whether you're going watching it, whether you're being in a room listening to it, it certainly has a positive effect. And I just think that that is being robbed of us.
Yeah, and I got a lot of buddies that were in the industry in LA, and it's I can't even I want to wrap my head around it and make sense of it, but it's like I can't I don't know, like this yeah, like you said, I feel for this generation, and like I don't have children, but I consider myself to be kind of a big kid, but I really feel for them, and I just don't think they have the same cultural exposure that some of the old heads did.
Mm. So yeah, I mean it's like it's what Putin needs. He needs to just go and sit down, listen to some Beatles, just get the entire Beatles discography, start from the first album, just work his way through, just sit down, listen to it, and then he may come away from it and go, yeah, what am I doing? Why am I invading this country?
He could get on his cell phone and sing Imagine and do all that.
Well, no, I mean I'm talking about the Beatles. I'm not talking about after the
Oh, I
Beatles.
know, I know.
I'm talking about the Beatles.
Yeah. What did you see the documentary that was on Disney Plus?
Yes, I've seen it possibly 20 times.
Really?
I love it. Yeah.
Would you consider the Beatles probably like your biggest influence in?
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like the, everything that I've enjoyed by the Beatles has been like so far removed from, like I really genuinely enjoy like their kind of weird and like psychedelic stuff, but then you can just throw in some of their earlier catalog, and that's fun too.
Well, look at all the bands that do really great albums. They generally do two side by side. Okay, so pick a few out of the hat. Let's have a look. AC/DC, Highway to Hell, Back in Black, Metallica, Ride the Lightning, Master of Puppets. You'll probably think of a few. Judas Priest. I'm trying to think of what they are now, but loads of great bands have two fantastic albums side by side. If you're going to look
I'm
at two,
trying to I'm trying to think of one.
what you're trying to think of a band?
Yeah, like where they had two like back to back stellar like incredible albums. I mean, well, come back to me on that one.
Well, I mean, you could. I mean, I could look through my record collection right now and just. But I mean, Van Halen, Van Halen 1, Van Halen 2.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh
No! Hopefully that wasn't them.
no, so but yes, so many bands have like got two great albums. I mean, they've got more, but there's two really amazing ones.
I could probably list some like obscure,
Stone
like
Temple
hardcore and punk
Pilots,
ones. Oh yeah,
Core, Stone Temple Pilots, Core and Purple.
and even Tiny Music to a certain degree.
But yeah, but them two,
Yeah.
wow. God, yeah, but with the Beatles, Rubber Soul and Revolver, them two albums, they were kind of like the beginning of rock,
Oh yeah.
of real rock, you know, because they you'd have something like Drive My Car, which was a kind of, you know, that kind of bass and guitar playing the same riff at the same time, which is the precursor of Black Dog. And, you know, it was a very slinky sort of, you know, a big groovy fat bass guitar and guitar riff. And then you'd have Nowhere Man, which is just those harmonies, so many of them, you know, and that sort of really super bright guitar solo. And then you'd have stuff like Girl, which sounded like some kind of like, you know, Hungarian minor kind of like folk song. And In My Life, which always to me always comes across as being the most beautiful love song that's ever been written. And then on the other album you'd have, you know, Revolver, you'd have She Said, She Said. Oh man, I mean that is like the beginning of psychedelia, you know. So, and the guitar tones on that album, you know, Taxman, which is almost like a garage rock, garage punk, pre-punk, proto-punk.
Yeah.
You know, it's in there.
Yeah, I was gonna say Beatles definitely had a little bit of proto-punk influence.
I mean, all you have to do really is put the first album on. So Please Please Me, you can just put that first album on, and you can just hear the opening notes of Twist and Shout, and then John Lennon's voice just like grating in.
Oh yeah.
That's garage rock.
Yeah, I've been listening to a lot of the old Metallica too, and like that, those first few albums that they had were just fantastic, and Ride the Lightning and Master of Puppets especially, like the musicianship on
Yeah,
that is fantastic. It's so good, and like, oh
yeah.
man, I
And
miss that. What's that?
Kill 'em all as well.
Yeah, I loved Kill 'Em All, and you know, I just found out recently that Mustaine actually didn't do the recording on that. He just wrote a big percentage of the music on that
Well,
album.
he didn't do, you know, Kirk Hammett did the solos on that.
Yeah.
But so, but the difference is between, say, like the Beatles. I mean, they had more than just two albums side by side, didn't they? You know, they had like a bunch.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, they you know, they weren't just, they had all styles, all genres. They were an all genre band.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Right.
I mean they really just kind of paved the way for, you know, bands to be experimental. I always think of the Smashing Pumpkins
Yeah.
whenever, like, you know, you think of one of their albums like Melancholy, where it's like, you know, that album goes into so many different directions, but you know, at the core of it, it's still, you know, Smashing Pumpkins. You can go back and like listen to Gish and like hear the influence that that album had on the later albums, you know?
Yeah, I'll tell you what, there was something that I found today. Um, and it was this. Let me just demonstrate to you.
Oh man.
Let's have a quick look.
Oh my goodness.
I found today that maybe this one might be out of tune because it fell over. So
Uh-oh.
put that one over there. I'll just pick this one up. Um, so probably with Butterfly Wings. And then when he does that, all right, so that riff, how similar is that to this? You know, it's so similar.
I wouldn't have said that.
It's like a faster version of For Those About to Rock. But if I did like, be another Smashing Pumpkins song. Yeah, so I just today I was just thought, bloody hell, that's really similar to AC/DC. So yeah, well, I've been going through a little bit of a '90s thing recently. I've been
Okay.
kind of like thinking to myself, like, you know, what we had in the '90s was actually more magical. We didn't realize it at the time, you know, because the '90s was a great explosion for music as well.
You think the 90s was better than, like, say, 80s or 70s or?
I wouldn't say it was just there was something about it. I mean, the problem, I mean, for me, the '80s there was some great underground stuff. Wow, the underground stuff was awesome. You know,
Yeah.
and that was the only good stuff worth listening to because you know the commercial stuff was diabolical. You know, in the '80s, I mean, because it was the era of the yuppie. You know, it was awful.
Yeah.
People wearing suits, and you know, it's just awful. You know, just really some of the worst music ever in the '80s. I'd say, really.
You couldn't get down with any of the I'm trying to think of the popular 80s shit like
Man, George Michael, terrible,
you weren't a fan.
terrible. I mean, right. I mean, in the '80s, it'd only be the '80s where you'd have a fantastic band like the Jam become the such drivel like the Style Council, which are utterly shite,
Yeah.
terrible. How can you get an amazing band suddenly become a really terrible band? You know, the Style Council. Good God.
Um I mean, did you like any of the new wave stuff? I mean, because you were kind of coming up in
Oh yeah,
like the punk and
God,
the no, was that like
yeah,
blast? Oh, you did.
yeah, of course, yeah,
Okay.
loads of it. Yeah, I grew up with all that kind of stuff. Yeah, it was good fun. That was, I mean, that was my youth. You know? So I mean, that's the sound of when I was like, you know, putting my hand around sort of like girls from my class in my school, and we'd walk to a school disco, and we'd hear the sound of Blondie, you know, Atomic, you know, or something like that. I mean, great. You know, I can still remember those times, and the car's just what I needed. Great. Yeah, I loved all that. I
You,
mean, really, they were love songs, but they kind of had like good music.
yeah.
You know?
I mean,
I don't think
what's
I
that?
don't think there's anything wrong. I don't think there's anything wrong with particularly say like I'm really into sort of when I write songs, they're generally about kind of either stories or you know quite often they'll be like about a you know a statement sometimes, but often stories about feelings and about people, about situations. Um, but there's nothing wrong with writing a love song. If you want to write one, that's okay. You know, a song is a song. As long as you've got a way of expressing your feelings and putting something out, putting something forward, it can only be therapeutic.
Um, do you can you name like a moment in your life where you feel like you had a like a profound like moving experience by either say like a live performance or an album or you know watching somebody on TV, anything like that?
Oh God, yes, so many. I mean, going all the way back. I mean, Hendrix. You know, so the first time I ever really got into Hendrix was, you know, I was really young. But then when VHS came along, and so we were able to sort of like watch him and then record it and then watch it afterwards and then keep watching it over and over and over again and try, you know, God, you know, this guy really, you know, because TV, when you saw stuff on TV, it was just very instant. Your mind would be blown and it's gone and you're just left with the memory. But when VHS came along, you could keep it, couldn't you? Keep it going. I mean, and watch it, you know. And my brother had the bootleg of Woodstock, and I remember just like hearing that, and it just wow, this
Oh
is
wow.
like we play it over and over and over again, this bootleg of that, and it was just amazing. No, I had that so many times with lots of things, films.
What films have made like a profound impact on you? Like what's
Yes,
so
some
many?
films have had different effects on me. You know, like I remember when I was younger, Carrie. That really had a
Ooh,
big effect on me. That film.
that's a good one.
I actually felt quite, emotional about it afterwards. You know, it kind
Yeah,
of upset. It upset me, and I think it upset me because seeing this person being bullied so much, you couldn't blame her for that explosion at the end.
right.
She was so bullied. I kind of really felt for her.
Yeah.
So yeah, I got that.
Yeah.
But then later on, Cloud Atlas. It's another great film. I
Did you
love
like
that.
Cloud Atlas?
Yeah, I couldn't stop watching it.
Really?
Couldn't watch it. Yeah, I read the book. I was watching the film. I probably watched the film a dozen times. Another film I really love, The Big Lebowski.
Oh God.
Man, I'm that's just one of my favorite chill out films.
That's Gene's favorite film as of late.
It's a great chill out film,
It is.
and it's good for just sitting back and just
Yeah.
enjoy the moment. Cloud Atlas, I think, is an intelligent film.
I really liked Cloud Atlas, you know? Like I think it gets an unfair rap because a lot of people didn't seem to like it, but there's so many different layers to it that,
Yeah, loads of great layers.
yeah.
And then when you read the book, you get more.
I have not read the book.
Yeah, it's good. The Great Gatsby, that's a good book. Good film. Um, my daughter is a massive film fan, so she's kind of like she introducing us to loads of obscure things. Um, when I was a kid, I was a fan of horror, and
Oh,
of course, I liked Clockwork Orange,
oh,
um, The Exorcist.
oh. That's a fantastic one. Exorcist
Uh,
3. Have you seen Exorcist 3?
no, no, no.
It's
I
good.
mean, I went through my gore thing, and then I
Yeah.
came off it. I enjoy horror films that are kind of psychological. I still like them.
Yeah.
Uh, I remember seeing a film, House on Haunted Hill, or something like that when I was really young, or The Haunting, something like that. I loved that,
Yeah.
and that was a film that really kind of wow, made a big mark on me. When I was just a kid, and I went through the whole gore thing, but I went in and then enjoyed it, and then came out because I realised that it was really. I didn't really need to see people being cruel to each other over and over again. It's kind of thought, yeah, okay, I've seen it now. I don't really need to see it pushed
Sure.
any further. You know.
What have you
So
been listening to as of late? Like what's going through your rotation?
John Reese, everything that John Reese does. So Rocket from the Crypt, the Night Marchers, Sultans. He's just done a new solo album. So it's right there, Swami, John Reese.
Okay.
So
Nice.
right now, yeah, everything that John Reese does, absolutely everything. Um, I just have a think. There's a few other bands. I'm digging out Toxic Reasons again. Van Halen. I've been listening to Van Halen a lot recently.
Nice.
Stevie Ray Vaughan.
Ooh, Texas Flood.
Yeah, I love all that stuff. I really do like the way how he kind of. Yeah, I really love all that stuff.
Man, he was such a great talent, you know. It was kind of a shame because, those my parents those albums were always in rotation in my
Yeah,
house,
really.
and then he, passed away and it was like You know, I really admire that level of just technical prowess. You know, I almost wish that I had that in my own playing. You know, but
Yeah,
getting there, trying.
yeah, it's great. It's great stuff. I've been listening to loads and loads of uh, different hardcore bands, different punk bands, and just really kind of getting into some sort of early garage. I've been checking out, the MC5 again, Sonic
Ooh,
Rendezvous Band. Um, God, I just like it's been a period of discovery. I've been like really listening to a lot of music and just kind of like whenever I hear anything that I think's magic, so like it can often be just a couple of chords, a great chord change with a just like this line of words that's over it. I'll just hear this moment of magic. If I hear that, then I save that song, so like I try and put them all in a great big folder. These are the songs that have brought that magic out in me, so I need to go back to them. And then with any luck, they'll inspire me to do something again. I mean, because like the new album, the new Janus Stark album, that came from, inspiration. The one before it, Angel in the Flames, when I started writing that, I hadn't written anything for a few years. I'd kind of given up on it. I felt like no one wanted to listen to what I was doing. What's the point? What's the point in writing anymore? No one wants to listen to it. And then I just kind of had this moment. I think it was when David Bowie died. I found myself, I was grieving and I was listening to all of his albums and felt the need to pick up a guitar again. And I just started kind of like putting these chords together. And I guess the chords were kind of they were influenced a bit by Bowie. They were kind of so I started writing again, and then one thing would lead to another until you'd start putting more and more riffs down, and then after because I started collecting riffs, I started getting more ideas. So I'd collect them and I'd save them, on my phone in the voice recorder, and then I'd keep a little notebook and write down if anyone said anything, or if I read something or if I saw something on TV, I'd put it down in a book. I'd save it. I'd collect these thoughts, and then eventually it was like a friend of mine in Germany. He said, "Oh, I'm doing a punk festival. It's called the Booze Cruise." And I said to him, "Oh, that'd be really good for Janus Stark. What about if I reformed Janus Stark for it?" And he goes, "Would you do that?" I said, What would you let us play?" And he said, "Fucking yeah." So I said, "Let's do Janus Stark again." So
nice.
then we reformed to play that gig.
Oh wow.
And yeah, that's why we reformed for that one gig. And then when we were there, we played the gig and we were all really nervous. But we did the gig. And then afterwards, we went to this bar called Gun Club. It's a great place in Hamburg. And it's really tiny underground, very seedy punk rock bar. Everything's red. It's great, great place. And there was one of our friends' bands playing, and the atmosphere just got everyone. And we just all said, "This is it. What have we been doing?" And I just thought to myself, "What have I been doing? I need to get back to this." So there, that was Janus Stark right there. And then we got on with it. New album.
That's fantastic, man. And I guess I should inform everybody, Giz back in the day, I met him through Janus Stark. He my dad drove a tour bus and he came and played at our high school, which was fucking solid, man. I that was one of the coolest things anyone could do, and like you and my
Crazy.
you and my dad were like
best mates.
God level. Well, yeah, that too. But like I was just like, oh,
Me
this
and
is amazing. You know.
me and your dad we got on so well. We just clicked. We were like that. I
Yeah.
could sit next to him. We could talk to each other like for thousands of miles, just talking, just laughing, talking, and we really did share something. We just hung out with each other non-stop. And I think we probably in hotels we probably shared rooms and stuff. And we just clicked. So yeah. So when he said, "Why don't you come and stay around mine?" And then he had this idea, "Why don't you play at the school?" We said, "Yeah, why not?" Really mad, but it was really nice. It was good fun.
It was fantastic. I found some of the old pictures and I sent them to you a while back, and then
Yeah.
I'm trying to find the video because it exists.
Oh,
Um,
really?
so once I do, I'm definitely gonna send it to you and post it up. But yeah, no, I mean he has fond memories. He loved you guys. He thought you guys were like probably one of the best acts that he took out. And the best stories always came from you guys. Like
Yeah.
any of the tour stories. Like he told me the story about whenever you guys were on the bus and he had his gun. You want to tell that story?
Well, I
I
just
think there's a
remember,
statute. I think there's a statute of limitations on this. So
I remember that he was with Pinch and they were firing it out the window, and I just remember hearing it, and thinking, "What the hell?" But at the time, yeah, I think Pinch was saying, "God, let me have a go," and I think he might have just like shot the gun through the window, just into the wilderness, just into the woods or something,
yeah.
or just shot it, but past your dad's face. I've got a feeling that he literally shot it like that past his
Oh.
dad's face. And I just remember hearing this, but your dad was, because he's a tough, crazy guy, and he was just laughing whilst it was going on. Oh boy.
Yeah, they don't let you guys arm over there. So he said that was really a new experience for you.
Yeah, yeah, of course. But I mean, when we wanted to go and see a few things, and he said, "Well, I'll come with you," and so he kept his gun with him, but obviously tucked away. But so it wasn't out in public view. But it was always very protective with us. It was very good.
Yeah,
Well, as I
that
said, we just couldn't stop talking all the time. We were just like always story after story after story. The
he's
Big
he's
Lebowski, no wonder it's his favorite film. It does remind me of him a little bit, the dude.
he does have some dude-like qualities, I think, for sure.
Yeah,
He just he'll quote the movie at random. Like we'll just
yeah.
be out there working or something like that and be like the rug. We'll talk about the rug and like just it really tied the room in nicely, like just all sorts of weird stuff. But yeah, he's doing good. He retired here recently. And he's still full of piss and vinegar. He's just been flipping cars. He gets all these. Well, you saw the Studebaker, the old Studebaker,
Yeah.
right? The flamed one. Yeah, he sold that years ago, and then he's just been flipping old classic cars, and he's like a big teenager.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. But that he was always talking to us about trying to relate to like a group, a band. It's like a wheel, and he kept on saying it's like a wheel, and how each thing is interactive with the other thing, and it creates what comes out at the end. Everything is interactive. So if everything is working together, then you're going to have greatness. But if one thing is not matched, or if it's damaged, or if it's weak, I mean, it's a terrible way of putting it, but it's not. I don't mean it in that way. But if something isn't working towards this wheel, so if there's something wrong with the spokes, the inner tube, the tire, if there's all these different. The analogy of it, just trying to say that the band is like a wheel, and it almost reminds me of like that. So many things, a community, I guess. You're only as as big as you're only as strong as your.
Weakest link.
Yeah, but that's the wrong way of putting it.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
But I
Well,
think everything counts. Everything counts. It's
sure.
like let me show you
Every
like,
little thing counts, right?
everything counts. When you're creating a guitar sound, okay. So when you're creating a guitar sound, okay. Now this is easy because I'm going through an amp that's got loads of channels,
Sure.
loads of sounds. But like if I didn't have that, and if I wanted to have clean and dirty, so now that's different, you see, because now, okay, I've got clean. Okay, so that's clean. Yeah, but if I wanted to have some dirty on top of that, but let's say if I was doing my, all right, well, if I wanted to have dirty, if I didn't have, two channels or two amps, I've got to do it all with one amp, then I've got to use a pedal, all right? So,
Yeah.
but then you've got to get a pedal that is going to be giving you the sound. It's like, is that a good enough sound? You know what I mean? It's like, oh, you got to get something that's interactive. Everything counts. The pickups count, the neck, the what's the stability of the tuning. It's everything counts.
Yeah.
The amp, the valves, everything counts. And if you've just got one thing that you depend on, and this thing has to give you what you want, you have to have clean, you've got to have dirty. Is that the right kind of dirty? Is it enough? Everything counts.
Yeah.
Pedals are interactive with the pickups, it's interactive with the amp. And so
Yeah.
on.
All the band members, work in tandem. It's like a well-oiled machine. We had a drummer in one of my bands, and if he didn't show up, nothing happened. So
I know that well. I know that well. I mean, we're very lucky in Janus Stark. We've got a we all need each other very much, and we've actually realised we've played together in lots of different guises. Like for instance, we played together in a cover band, and we've just gone out and played covers, and we've just jammed all night on a handful of covers, but we played for hours, and then we've done gigs where we played like about 30 covers one after another, for different things, parties, even weddings, all that kind of stuff. And then of course we do Janus Stark, and then we've come away from it saying, God, Janus Stark it's the thing. It really is. It's the greatest thing, isn't it? We've actually turned around and said, playing these covers is just boring. Janus Stark is where it's at, and everyone in the band is just sort of like, "No man, there's nothing beats Janus Stark, does it?" And we've all said, for some reason, us when we're together and playing that music, it just feels so right.
yeah,
Everything about it. And when we pull out covers, it's like, it just doesn't feel as good. It feels
sure.
almost pointless.
Yeah. I tell you
I'm
what,
not.
though, I played in a cover experience one time, and like it was super low stress because I didn't feel like I had to like impress anybody, and like I I do value that the whole like writing and creative experience of like doing your own material, but I remember honestly one of my fondest experiences was just playing for some like Rich Lake Cougars like Thin Lizzy covers, like it was a fucking blast, so like
Absolutely, absolutely. You want to bet? I completely get that. No, I mean, if I was, I mean, I am actually kind of thinking, well, me and some friends are talking about for fun, maybe getting like a '90s tribute thing, just playing '90s music.
You could do some I don't know, Soundgarden, audio or no, Audio Slave was much later.
Yeah, no,
um,
sound. Um, what's wrong with Nirvana? Nirvana's okay.
you could do some
Um,
Nirvana. You could do some Prodigy covers.
do some Prodigy covers.
Yeah.
Could do some Prodigy covers. Could do some. I mean, over here in England, we've got Therapy
Oh
going.
yeah, with the question mark at the end, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
going
yeah.
very, very good band.
They're
Very
still
good.
around.
Yeah,
Oh
they
wow.
are. So I'm literally thinking about 90s music now. So Faith No More.
Faith No More would be fantastic. Angel Dust. What was
Did you
the
hear me
one?
say Alice in Chains? I did say Alice in Chains.
Oh, I don't know if you did. Alice in Chains, fantastic. Jar of Flies. Acoustically, that album incredible.
Oh yeah,
Um,
well I love that acoustic, I've got to say. Yeah, I really do. But I also love that hold on, here we go back to that filth. So let's have I love that stuff.
yeah,
Hey,
that's impressive.
very kind of late-ish. Are you having a beer? You lucky bastard.
Mm-mm. It's a Coke with coffee.
Oh right, okay.
They're
Cold,
fantastic.
cold coffee.
Yeah, well, it's more Coke than coffee. It's more like
Hey,
a
hold
soda
on.
with.
That's a German thing.
Oh, is.
Yeah, they've got that.
Yeah, you were playing in the band in Germany for a while, though. More I see, right?
Yeah, I mean that was good fun.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That.
Pyogenesis.
Oh wait, what the? Because you got like 5 or 6 different projects. I was trying to remember them all. There's
Yeah,
what was the last one you said?
Pyogenesis.
That was like
Pyogen.
the metal band you did, right?
Yeah, well, that was the German band.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. And the more I see
So
was the English band, right?
the More I See was my metal band. Yeah,
Oh, okay, okay, okay.
yeah. We did. That was kind of after Janus Stark. So
Right.
it was the post Janus Stark period, and it took over from Janus Stark. So it was we did an album in 2005 called The Wolves Are Hungry with SPV Records in Germany.
Hmm.
We had a bit of a German thing happening, and then we did an album called The Unholy Feast, and then finally we did an album called The Disappearing Humans. And I'm proud of all those 3 albums. So yeah, there was some good output. Yeah, good output.
Do you think that you'll ever revisit that project again? No.
No, no, no. I've done it.
Yeah.
It was great fun when it lasted. We did some great things, but no, what I'm doing now is the right thing. Without a doubt. I mean,
Do you
as I
think
said, the new album is just the thing.
did you
I
guys
mean,
self-release that?
no, we're on a label which is Time and Matter Records, and they are UK Subs record label.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we're part of the Subs family in some respect. Yes,
Fantastic.
so we had the album Angel in the Flames, which I'll show you.
Oh yeah.
I should have it here somewhere. So okay, so this was the first album. This is when we were touring, and this is when we stayed down York.
Ah.
And then
Yeah,
this is
yeah.
Angel in the Flames, and this is the album that's came out just kind of like November before the lockdown.
Oh wow.
And then the new album is going to be called Face Your Biggest Fear.
Oh wow.
So this is the album cover.
How about that? That's
Get it?
fantastic. Yeah.
Now the good thing is about this album cover, right? You can look at it like this, and then
Oh shit.
so
How
look,
about that?
yeah. Well, I thought we get the album cover right.
Yeah. The
Get
the I'm definitely gonna order one of those black ones because
oh yeah,
I gotta do the band swag. What's that?
you're a medium as well.
Yeah, definitely. Are you guys gonna make any plans to come back stateside?
Sorry, but probably no.
Oh,
I'd like to, but someone's going to have to invite us and pay for the flights.
dang.
So I mean, we're not going to, we can't just wing it like come over and nothing.
Yeah.
You know, someone has to provide us with the opportunity of, you know, yeah, we've got a festival, we've got a few gigs. I mean, I'm still trying to just get the band, you know, really covering the UK. You know,
Yeah.
so because we did have the tour all mapped out, and then lockdown happened, so the tour was thrown out the window, and now we've now got, I guess we've got something in the region of 30 dates in the diary, but I want to get a package and then get us out with a couple of other bands, get us out on the road for, you know, like a 25-date tour, you know, a
Sure.
real tour, back to back dates, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And but so yeah, I mean, I still want to cover the UK.
Yeah.
We'd love to come to the States, but you know, you've got to be in kind of like, you need something to go there for. You know, someone
Sure.
says, hey, you know, I can get you here, I can get you there. We've got this festival, I'll pay for your flights.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're there. We're there.
Well, one of these days I'm gonna have a massive bankroll and I'm just gonna throw like a fantasy festival, you know, and in that case I'll have you covered. But otherwise I gotta go through somebody else's Swiss bank account because I got nothing.
These things do happen sometimes.
Sure.
So I mean, it's but I mean, at the moment, it's, as I said, you know, new album. Very, very happy with that.
You got
Uh,
some new Axemen now, huh?
yeah, yeah. But you mean new people?
New crew, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. We do. I do. I've got, as I said, I've just got a great band around me that they never let me down. It's great. You know? But we've got a nice little team. I mean, we've got. There's always a chance, isn't there? Every band, you know, every band suffers from a problem where a guy can't make a gig. You know, every band has that, all right.
Hmm.
And with, luckily enough, in Janus Stark, me and the drummer, we're able to do everything. So like, he will do every gig. I'm the singer and the guitarist. So we rhythm guitarist and bassist. So what we have is we have three other guys that do. If one of them can't do it, the other can. Do you know what I mean? So we've got the team. You know, so if there's ever a problem, we're basically a five piece, but we go out as four.
Hmm.
Because if we went out as five, we'd be Leonard Skinner. There'd be like three guitar players. It's not a bad thing.
No, not at all. In fact, Gene has turned me on to Leonard Skinner more than anyone has ever because I watched a documentary that they did, and I think there was some festival they played. It's a newer documentary, and
Yeah.
it's fantastic. Like they just had such amazing chops, and you know that I mean, it's a cliche, pretty overplayed song, but you know the three guitar solo in Free Bird, man. Like I could only hope to like
This
get to
is the
that level.
album. This is this is the one you want. This is the one.
Oh wow!
Second coming.
Oh
This
wow!
you do. Leonard Skinner are a very misunderstood band.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you know that like Ronnie, for instance, was anti-guns,
Yes,
and
and
he was anti-racist.
which is
And
funny because one thing real quick, like the "Give Me Back My Bullets" is not like a pro gun song, and I didn't know
no,
that. I was like, what?
and also, you know, they've got songs that are against guns. Well, they did have then, because of Ronnie. Ronnie was fiercely against it,
Yeah.
and also the Ballad of Curtis Lowe, which is about his love for this old black guy that used to busk in the street, and he used to just kind of like, he just really loved this guy. He used to save his money, go and just give him his money and sit and watch him playing, and his mum would like slap him around the face, stop hanging around with that old guy and all this kind of stuff. But he said, I just absolutely loved this guy. And so really misunderstood band.
Yeah.
But you know, but of course he went. It's a shame that he died, because I think they would have carried on being greater and greater, but
Yeah.
they needed him. They needed him because he
Yeah.
was a tough guy that
He
had some. values.
Yeah, he was really probably the soul, and like
Oh, it
I,
was.
what you're kind of saying about like them being misunderstood, a lot of the like iconography that they had, specifically like, the Confederate flag, like it was never about that, like that there was a time when like Tom Petty was flying it, and like it was, and for somebody from the South, it was more just like a statement of heritage than anything, and like I hate to explain it like that, but unfortunately that's it's been misconstrued, and they've been part of that whole like the whole insidious like cancel culture, and I'm like I
Mm.
really wish people would just do their homework and like really kind of learn their roots and learn about these bands, like because that people can just be like, oh yeah, they're from the South or terrible or whatever, and it's like eh,
It
no,
was
no,
like
no,
what I
no.
was trying to say earlier on. For some reason, well, for I don't know, whatever reason, but people are just too urgent and eager to jump onto the next battle that comes along. Every battle.
Yeah.
And it's like, man, just look, fight, yeah, but fight a battle that's your battle. And right now, it's like, for instance, these poor people in the Ukraine,
Yeah.
and also the Russian kids. They don't want this to happen. They don't want any of that. But they go out protesting about it and they get fiercely beaten up by the Russian police. It
Mhm.
seems to me that old, it's the elder institution that's having their last gasp attempt at, because what have they got to lose? Most of them are in their bloody 70s. They're going to die soon anyway. It's their last attempt. Oh, all Russian speaking countries, they should belong to Russia. That's like, all right, okay. Now, who speaks English? All right, so should we begin with, well, you lot, for instance? So, like, you now belong. Yeah, I can see that happening. I'll go over to Australia. We're going to take you back. No, Australia be like, yeah, you try it. Canada, Canada, yeah, we're going to have you back now. It's like, no, you ain't, mate.
Yeah.
It's like, no, don't be stupid. What the hell? It's the guy needs some music in his life.
He just needs.
He looks like a bloody villain out of James Bond.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, he definitely does. And I mean,
And,
he's
and now he's acting like it.
yeah, and he's pretty snaky. I didn't know how he would like shift his position. He'd be like president and then prime minister. And I was telling somebody, I was like, yeah, that's like Robert De Niro in Casino, how he had to keep changing his band or his job title to like
Yeah.
casino director, food and beverage, And I was like, yeah, that's just Putin, He's
Yes.
he's snaky, yeah, for sure. Well, hey, mate,
Yeah.
I thank you so much for coming on the show. It's been
Had a
fantastic
good
being
chat.
able to. What's that?
We had a good chat.
We did have a good chat, and it was fantastic being able to reconnect with you. I know we were trying to hang out in San Francisco, and we just couldn't
Yeah.
get around to it, So
Too
it's
much
nice.
going on.
Yeah, I mean, we were doing the like touring around the city thing, and yeah, it would have been nice to connect, but now we got technology, so
Yeah. Now we've got
fantastic.
technology.
But well, brother, is there anything you want to? I mean, you want to plug the dates and where we can find
Yeah.
the album and
Well,
whatnot?
okay. So the Janus Stark album will be released on July the 22nd. Okay. So look out for it. I would basically just ask everyone, check out Janus Stark. If you go onto YouTube, you can find it there. If you go to Spotify, you will find it there. If you want to come to our Facebook site, so you could come to my Facebook site, you could go to the Janus Stark or mine. Instagram, do the same, Janus Stark or mine. I will see. No matter which one. It could be both. So do all of them.
He
And
is omniscient.
because I will get to eventually read it. And chances are, if you get in touch with me, it will be me that will come back. So, like for instance, if you want to buy a T-shirt, there's every chance it'll be me that will be actually packing it into the envelope and sealing it and writing your name on and sending it to you with love. and maybe with a free plectrum, sticker or whatever. So get in touch, because we're just trying to kind of spread the love.
For sure. Yeah. Buy a shirt. Buy a record. Do
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
July the 2nd, that's when the new album drops, and I really want all of you to hear it, because I think chances are you're listening to this because you appreciate good rock music, whether it's rock and roll, heavy rock, metal rock, punk rock, alternative rock, garage rock, whatever it is, hardcore rock, whatever it is.
Yeah.
There's every chance that you are watching this because you're a fan of rock. So July 22nd, check out the new album, because I think it's gonna, it's gonna tickle your rock.
I don't even know how to send that one out. Well, I'm gonna post a link to Janus Stark in the comment section, so check that out. Put merch links in there, everything, social media. Anybody you want to shout out to, or any new musicians you want to plug real quick?
Friends of ours in the UK, Diaz Brothers. John Reese, of course. Love the guy. Swami, love this guy. Vega Trem Systems, they really help me all the time. I love those people. Marshall Amps, they're great. Ibanez Guitars. Hold on. Bare Knuckle Pickups. Jim Dunlop Plectrums. What a whore.
All the good stuff. All right, sir. Yeah. Well, you have a wonderful evening. I appreciate you so much for coming on. Like I said, you've done me a solid with John Reese, Swami. Listen to that album, everybody.
Yeah, it's great.
And check out Janus Stark and buy some shit from a man, Gizz Butt. Thank you so much for coming on. And everybody, click on that subscribe button. Click on the little bell for notifications. Like, comment, share. Gizz Butt. Thanks, brother.
Thank you very much.
Namaste. God bless.
It's so hard to